Hi guys, welcome back to our podcast. It's a weekend and I've been working all weekend because that's what you do. So this is the big question. For modern people like us with busy jobs and schedules, how do we integrate yoga, science in modern life? How do we live our normal lives and yet achieve bliss? That is the question. And this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Mariya and welcome to Lifestyle Secrets. And at some point today, after interviewing probably about 20 people for a position we're looking for Kundalinilounge, I've realized something. And that is that no matter what day it is of the week, no matter if I'm feeling great or having a cold, which I do right now, no matter how exhausted or energized I feel, the reality is I always find the time and the energy to do it because I feel really passionate about it. And it got me thinking as to why. Because many people keep saying, well, how do you do all this? Why do you do all this? How do you manage to have the job, to run this, to get people to create things and keep going? And funnily enough, the more things happen, the more challenges we start facing. So, I keep getting some pushbacks and some things that are happening in my life which are really heavy to carry, and at the same time, somehow, I always find the strength to go through this. So I was going through this, thinking, talking to friends, to my parents, like, why am I doing all this? Like, what's driving me? And I know my purpose. So it's always been to share the knowledge with everybody and also experience it and really help people who feel a bit lost and feel that they don't see the next step. We've had great experience with that. We've helped many, and I feel that's my mission in life. But behind it, of course, is always the material part, the creative part, creating this video, for example, finding the time to prepare everything so that it actually reaches you is a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of resource. So I started thinking, what has driven me through my life and through my years to achieve anything, right? And it's more of an existential question rather than any type of lecture. But I'll probably go a bit deeper and share with you a bit of me, because really what drives success and when we achieve something is the fact we don't give up. And we do not give up. No matter what happens, no matter the difficulties and the challenges that life brings and the people that come in life and try to derail you and the situations that you face, we don't give up for two reasons, right? One is because we have this great passion about something, so it's motivation. And two is the desperation. So in my life, I've experienced the two, and they actually relate to both sides of what I do right now. When I was younger, I obviously grew up in Bulgaria, which at that time was going through transition from communism to capitalism. And so times were tough, right? There were times where there was no food, there were coupon systems, so you wouldn't even have enough food for the family. Oftentimes my mom would go on the queue and wait until 3 a.m. to get the chance of getting some food for us, and by the time she reaches the counter, it's over. We had rationing of electricity, so 3 days out of the week you wouldn't even have electricity, and we'll be singing on candles and playing Monopoly, which was rather nice and really made us a happy unit as a family. But if you think of it from a kind of advanced economy type of mentality, it's pretty appalling. So I had always had that urge of, I'm going to make it, I'm going to make this happen, I'm going to grow and come out of this kind of desperation that was happening in the country and the environment. And I'm going to really succeed for me, for my family, and for everybody I loved. So I started very young. I left my country at a very young age. I started studying, working, really working hard, did 3 degrees. I don't know, I was crazy, right? I was basically dedicating all my energy and effort into making it. Whatever it took, I had a mission, I had a goal, and I had a pretty damn good reason to do it. So, whether I would win the full scholarship for the university I was studying, whether I'll be working as well studying, whether I'll be actually doing 3 degrees at the same time because I didn't have time to study for longer periods, I did it, right? I had the motivation. And then I developed my career into banking, and that's where I am right now. And that has been really driven by desperation/fear of not going back into that state of not going back to that state of being dependent on circumstances that are rarely our fault. Yeah. And a lot of love for my family, and wishing that things are better, wishing that we all feel that sense of security that many have grown up with and never experienced. And I really wish nobody goes through this, but it has taught me a great lesson of how to be a fighter, of how to be there and not give up, of how to have a focus and really go for it. And getting that part of the motivation where there is no turning back is probably the most essential step to push you over the edge and for you to succeed. There is this tale that's being told for motivational speeches a lot is, burn the ship. So you arrived at the shore where you're going to fight with your whole army. But then once you reach that land, you burn the ship behind so that there is no way back but forward and winning. And then the other side of things, which is probably more related to what I've been creating in the yogic community, is the inspiration, the joy, the passion. And I love it so much, right? I feel that this is such a big calling for me to be there, to share, to whatever I can help people to get them from point A to point B, to make their lives better, to get them healthier, to get them more focused, more successful. This is something I feel extremely passionate about. So right now we're going with quite a bit of hustle and bustle with the tax authorities here in this country, because they've decided that me being a banker and me being a yogi doesn't quite make sense in their world. And probably for many people that's the case. But they've been giving me quite a bit of trouble through the past few months, which has been very stressful for me. And any normal person who actually has put so much effort and so much of their time on top of normal job would have actually given up easily. Like, if you don't love what you do, you would never push through, persist, and say, okay, that's a challenge, I'm gonna go through it, I'm gonna work through it, I'm gonna find a way. So, we've been working quite heavily in getting different aspects and trying to diversify and trying to find solutions in and out of different situations as we've been going through with my team. And that resourcefulness and that constant creativity into solving issues and keep going and keep that focus there, that's your goal and that's where you want to go, is the most essential part. And that's what keeps you going. So I think the message is just do not give up. If you feel that that's what you love, if you feel that that's what gives you the purpose, the meaning, the pleasure, the thing that makes you get out of bed, then never give up for it. So that's more for if you're an entrepreneur and you're pursuing a career and maybe you're experiencing financial difficulties because it's not growing as fast as you may need it, or maybe you're working in an environment that's not ideal but you love your job, or maybe you're in a situation at home where currently you may have some problems with your partner but you love each other and there is that core that really matters. That's where things happen. Being totally focused on that goal, being totally focused on the core and what really, really is the fundamental driver behind it. Be it because it's from a desperate point of view of, I don't want to be this again, and you want to grow and prosper and move forward and be a better person, or be it because you really love what you do and you just want to share it, you want to grow it, you want to do it, then do it and never give up. Don't just say, oh, they told me I'm crazy because I'm doing this, it's never gonna work. Don't listen. Because if you feel that this is your thing, if you feel that this enriches you and develops you and makes you a more wholesome person, then that's you. And you should always listen to yourself. We spoke on a previous podcast about listen to your gut and never compromise that. This is essentially this. If you tick with it, if you feel it in your gut that that's your thing, don't give up. No matter how hard it is, no matter how sometimes exhausting this may be, no matter how disillusioned you may feel, because sometimes we feel betrayed by what's happening, right? And you work hard and you're trying so hard, and then bam, something happens. And then you kind of put your head above the parapet and then bang, something happens. But these challenges are what actually drive us to move forward and grow and become even better and stronger. Because if they don't occur, then you won't even bother. It's just how human nature is. We are at a level, and if nothing just comes and pings us and say, hello, I'm here to challenge you, then you're just going to keep going through that life like this. So we should be thankful for the problems. I know it sounds crazy, but that's really what has made me progress, what has made me challenged, what has made me think of different ways and be more creative so that I can actually achieve what I really was after. So I'll give you a very quick breath that really helps when you're in a situation where you're like, oh my God, all this is happening and I'm just about to give up. Just remember, first of all, never give up, because it doesn't make sense. If you've put the effort, if you're on this path, then you're for a reason doing this. You're not just randomly choosing something. But when you feel like you want to give up, what you could do is, obviously, with more comfortable clothes, you sit on a chair or somewhere where you're comfortable, and you strengthen the spine, and you're gonna roll the tongue out, and you're gonna roll it into a little pipe. So some people naturally cannot do this, it's just nature. So it's okay, just get the tongue out, but if you can, roll it into a tube. And we're gonna be inhaling through that tube slowly and exhaling through the nose. So let's try. Keep sipping the breath through the curled tongue. And inhale through the nose. Exhale. And open your eyes. It's a really nice one to do if you really feel, can't take it. It gives a lot of power, a lot of energy, also calms you down, because a lot of time we act from emotion and that brings commotion. So we need to be balanced, we need to be grounded and also elevate the energy so that we can feel I know what I'm doing. So I hope you find what you're after. I hope you stick to what you love. I hope you never give up because of external factors or others or circumstances. And if you ever need a breath or something, you can always drop a comment below. I'm here to help. I would love to share as much as I can with you. And anything you want to talk about, you can always ask and send a question. So sign up, subscribe, like, whatever you feel like you should do. But do stay in touch and do let me know if there's anything we can do. Sat Nam. I'll see you tomorrow.